Morning, our dear students, esteemed guests, and distinguished speakers. On behalf of Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies, it is our Pearl Nagpal and Drishti Gupta's utmost honor to welcome you all to the highly anticipated CEO Summit 2025. Together, we gather to celebrate the spirit of leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurial excellence.
The sacred ceremony of lamp lighting symbolizes the lighting of knowledge and the dawn of new possibilities. To begin this momentous occasion, I would like to invite the respected director of Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies, Professor Dr. Rajni Malhotra Dhingra, along with our distinguished dignitaries, Mr. Sarthak Mittal, Mr. Benjamin Miller, Mr. Siddharth Havelia, Mr. Sagar Sharma, and our esteemed heads of departments, Dr. Manoj Verma, Dr. Manju Gupta, Dr. Umesh Pathak, Dr. Gaurav Agarwal, and also Dr. Bharti Chaudhary and Ms. Taranpreet Kaur Dhingra to please join us at the stage for this auspicious moment.
वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्करप्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा शुक्लां ब्रह्मविचारसारपरमा आद्यां जगद्व्यापिनीं वीणापुस्तकधारिणीम् अभयदां जाड्यान्धकारापहाम् हस्ते स्फाटिकमालिकां विदधतीं पद्मासने संस्थितां वन्दे तां परमेश्वरीं भगवतीं बुद्धिप्रदां शारदाम्।
We would like to take a moment to felicitate our distinguished guests who have graciously joined us today. Please join me in recognizing and honoring the following speakers. We invite Dr. Rajni Malhotra Dhingra and the heads of departments to please come forward and felicitate our esteemed guests. I invite Dr. Manoj Verma, head of the Department of Business Administration, to felicitate Mr. Sarthak Mittal, Chairman and CEO Mittal Finance. Mr. Benjamin Miller, co-founder and CEO Diginomo. We request Rajni ma'am to please felicitate Mr. Benjamin Miller, co-founder and CEO Diginomo. I request Dr. Gaurav Agarwal and Dr. Umesh Pathak to please come on stage and felicitate the guests.
Now I request Dr. Rajni Malhotra Dhingra to please welcome Mr. Siddharth Havelia, CEO and co-founder of Mercurius. Mr. Sarthak Havelia, co-founder and CEO of Mercurius.
Next, I would like to invite Mr. Sagar Sharma, co-founder and CEO, Devush, and request Ms. Rajni ma'am to please felicitate him. Mr. Sagar Sharma, co-founder and CEO, Devush. Can we have a huge round of applause, please?
I request please everyone to take their seats, and I am honored to invite Dr. Manju Gupta on the stage to please join us.
A very good afternoon, good morning to esteemed guests, distinguished speakers, faculty members and dear students. On behalf of Maharaja Agreshan Institute of Management Studies, it's my great pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each of one of you to the CEO Summit 2025. This event is a celebration of leadership, innovation and entrepreneurial excellence, and an opportunity for the young minds to engage with industry leaders, gain valuable insights and ignite their own journey towards success. Today, as we come together to learn from experiences of accomplished CEOs and visionaries, I encourage all our students to embrace this platform as a stepping stone towards your own aspiration. The knowledge and wisdom shared here today will not only broaden your perspective but also inspire you to challenge conventions and pursue excellence in your chosen areas. Throughout the event, you will have the chance to interact with the dynamic leaders, listen to their stories, and understand what it takes to build and sustain successful enterprises. I urge you to make most of this summit, ask questions, engage in discussions, and network with the professionals who have turned their ideas into impactful ventures. Once again, welcome to CEO Summit 2025. Let's make this an insightful and aspiring experience for all. Thank you so much.
Regards. Now, we move forward with welcoming our first distinguished speaker, Mr. Benjamin Miller, co-founder and CEO of Diginome and co-founder of Bad Talks. He is also the head of business development at Sixth Sense AI and with a LinkedIn following of over 8,000 people.
Good morning, GPT. Please interview me one question at a time to help me tell the students of Maharaja Agreshan about Bad Talks. So you can interview me to help me break down, analyze, and decide what to say.
Good morning. Let's break down, analyze, and decide how to introduce Bad Talks to the students of Maharaja Agreshan.
Our acronym stands for Breakdown, Analyze, and Decide. It's a common methodology, and decision making is very important in your career, especially if you're the leader of a startup, like our distinguished guest, Devush AI CEO, Sagar.
Got it. Now, let's analyze how to make that point stick. Second question. How do you want students to feel about bad talks? Should they see it as a conference, a movement, or something else entirely?
We are here as a younger, countercultural alternative to CEO summits of the former generations. So what can we do to engage you and excite you and make sure you have one of the best mornings this spring? We can be candid. Candid means honest and open and realistic about your career prospects and about your prospects as being an entrepreneur. And we will always encourage you, when you think about your future, to break down the possibilities and analyze them, rather than getting overwhelmed by thinking as an overarching vision you have for your future. So break it down on paper, and we can, oh, she's still talking. So let me expand beyond this somewhat banal acronym and get to a deeper meaning of what bad talks can mean. So my background, hi, I'm Benjamin, by the way. I'm from Silicon Valley, New York City, working in India for 5 years. My company is WorldPlay Ventures in the US. It has 10 years of history in social entrepreneurship. Anyone know what social entrepreneurship is? You can just raise your hand. You don't have to tell me. Looks like no one. So social entrepreneurship is when you use business to help people and the planet in addition to profit. So for 15 years, I've worked in startups dedicated to this. And so when we think about capitalism and what it has done to this planet, I believe we need to balance it out with something called shadow work. Shadow work in the wellness industry, which I've worked in for 7 years, is when you look into the corners of your introspective self. But it can also be applied to commerce and to individual institutions. And trust me, every individual, every one of us, and every institution, especially every for-profit, but even every NGO and government body has shadows, if not skeletons. So rather than run away from that in bad faith, we have to face it head on. We have to have the courage to embrace and own our shadows. And if we do that, we can heal ourselves, and we can literally cure capitalism and make it work for us rather than against us. So a lot of you are studying commerce and management, so you must, and maybe there's even MBAs in the audience. There's certainly a lot of future MBAs here. So one term you will learn is the invisible hand. The invisible hand is all-powerful. It's behind every transaction and every phenomenon each day across the planet because of the gamification of capitalism. But it's done recklessly and irresponsibly. In fact, for thousands of years, we've completely ignored the social and environmental costs of every transaction, only looking at the monetary value, which is called the single bottom line. And it's a fallacy, and you see where it leads. Things like climate change and Donald Trump. So what we have now is like the lower class and upper class going in farther and farther apart. So profit margins increasing, which looks good in the economy, but looks terrible on the streets with the middle class disappearing. So this is the dark side, right? And this is what the speakers here are not afraid to talk about, including the truth of startup life. So we love to see glorified videos on Instagram Reels, and we think, maybe not an entrepreneur, but I'll just become a day trader. Like yesterday at Chandigarh University, we had some interesting conversations with students about crypto and all. And we have a blockchain developer specialist in our speaker list today as well, if anyone has questions about that. So even crypto is a perfect example of where you can see some shadows, right? I'm sure a lot of you have experience, and if you have any experience in crypto, you've definitely had a very bad experience or two, because all of us traders have had these experiences. We've been scammed, phished, all of this. This has even happened to me in the past year. Almost everything you can imagine. Hacked, tricked, scammed, cheated, deceived, betrayed. That's startup life and that's crypto life. And there's really no escape from this, right? So this is good and bad all in one. So we can look at the shadows, but we can also laugh at them and laugh at ourselves and remember that things are not as mission critical as we think they are sometimes. It's important to breathe and be mindful and step back and remember that business is just a game. So let's treat it like one and just have fun and play. And then I told you my company is called WorldPlay. So think about that word play. The first thing that comes to mind in startups and tech is innovation. Innovation and play are similar processes. And the second one that we are in love with is gamification, to turn things into games. If any of you have read Freakonomics, it was a very influential, very popular book throughout the world recently. Freakonomics is not that special. It simply says one thing through many anecdotes, which is that where there are incentives, human nature will inevitably fall into them, including corruption on a mass scale. So maybe if there's a certain loophole that the government or the market accidentally introduces, or a back end on a website, the first 100 users or the first 1,000 visitors might not exploit it. But when you increase the sample size to 10,000, a million, you will inevitably see the standard deviation bell curve of corruption. And that is human nature. And that is business. Questions? Could be hard. There are a lot of you. Well, since I can't hear any of you anyway, would any of the speakers like to prompt me as if I'm an AI chatbot? Great. Well, I wish you to have a very enlightening experience listening to the other speakers, and if you're lucky, you may see me again at the end of the show. Enjoy, and thank you for coming.
And now, next we are honored to have Mr. Siddharth Havelia, CEO and co-founder of Mercurius. With over 20 years of expertise, Mr. Havelia has worked with global organizations such as PwC, Grant Thornton, and American Express. Please welcome, sir. Thank you.
So I did my schooling from Lucknow and then shifted over to Delhi for pursuing my graduation and my CA. So, I was doing CA as well as graduation together and never had the opportunity to enjoy my college life as much as I wanted. So, for me, whenever I visit like any college, it's like a dream come true. I can meet like so many youngsters and the future of tomorrow that I just feel like sharing whatever I have in my mind or whatever I think can be relevant for you people. So, jumping on to today's session, I would say, just last week I was going through a fascinating graph that showed how long the world's biggest companies survived. In 1920, the average life of a Fortune 500 company was 90 years. By 1960, the number dropped drastically to 60 years. And now, it's just below 17 years. Any guesses? So the reason is change. The world has seen so many technological shifts in the past 20 years compared to 150 years combined together. You'll be surprised to know that in 1997, the world's biggest mobile company, no, it was not Nokia, it was Motorola. had a market share of over 50%. So while Motorola was busy upgrading its factories, Nokia took it over in just like 1 year. And then, not even 10 years, Nokia 2 was gone. So this is a phenomenon that keeps on repeating across the industries. It is not the case only with mobile companies. This brings me to a simple and a powerful thought. It is not the strongest who survive. It is neither the smartest. It is the one who adapts himself to the changes. So if you don't want to end up like a dinosaur waiting to happen, you need to constantly evolve yourself. You need to learn. You need to keep reinventing yourself. And for me, I would say that is what the first lesson of entrepreneurship is all about. And there are 5 more to go. So I'm going to request you guys to take out a pen and a paper and to make note of it. But in case you don't have it, just make a mental note of it. And when you reach home, just jot it down on a piece of paper, stick it somewhere. Maybe you can see it on daily basis. Maybe it can be your laptop, it can be your study desk or elsewhere. First of all, I would say, know your why. Purpose and passion must go hand in hand. So in case you abandon your passion, you will not have the excitement to push through. But in case you abandon your purpose, you will not be able to give meaningful conclusion or direction to your passion. So most successful entrepreneurs, they don't just have passion or just the purpose. They have a mix of both. In fact, they also know how to stay patient. Because whenever you're building something great, you never know, there might be a day wherein the sky falls apart and you hit rock bottom. It is your why at that point in time which will actually pull you through and will again make you run. But if your why is weak, the first storm is going to break you apart. And if your why is great, trust me, how strong the storm is, it will not be able to deter you from fulfilling your dreams or your passion. Let me ask you something. How many of you have failed at something? I have actually failed in class 9 in maths. Trust me on that part. 9th half yearlies, I failed. 9th finals, I was a class topper in maths. 3 people passed and I was one of those. And how many of you felt terrible failing at it? Obviously I did. And that's natural. That's what we have been taught from our childhood. So in schooling, whenever we used to fail, it used to mean punishment. Standing out of the class or taking like a round here and there. And, teacher just punishing you and making you feel like as if you're the worst person available on this planet. In job, it can result you in quitting your job or losing your job. But in business, failing is important. You cannot progress in business till the time you do not fail. And that brings me to the next lesson of entrepreneurship, which is learn to love your failures. Failures are your best teachers. Understand, failure isn't the opposite of success. It is the path to it. Walt Disney was fired for his lack of imagination. His first company went bankrupt, and today Disney itself is worth 200 billion. So if you are afraid to fail, you will not be able to take risks. And if you do not take risks, you will not be able to build something great. And trust me, this is one of the most successful qualities of an entrepreneur. they do not avoid failures, rather they use it to their advantage. Thirdly, I mean, being in an MBA college, I'm sure a lot of you would be having good business ideas. But that's not what my question is. My question is, how many of you have actually worked towards it? I'm sure a lot of you would have. And this is, I mean, just remember that there is a difference between being a entrepreneur and an entrepreneur. Remember, it is the execution that matters much more than just the ideas. I mean, Facebook wasn't the first social media network. Google wasn't the first search engine. Tesla wasn't the first electric car. They over-executed everyone else. Most people wait too long. I mean, they want things to be perfect before their first launch. But remember, perfection kills the pace or the ideas. So do it anyways. Not enough features, do it anyways. I mean, not confident enough, do it anyways. Don't wait, just do it. Go in for it. You know, the founder of LinkedIn, he once said, if you're not embarrassed of your first product, you probably launched it too late. So I mean, you don't need a new idea to win. You just need to over-execute everyone else. And that's, I would say, is one of the, and I would say, I mean, one of the easiest and the most effective way of doing so is by having a strong network. And when I talk about a strong network, it doesn't mean, I mean, roaming around here in the auditorium and collecting business cards from everyone or their LinkedIn ID. That's not what networking is all about. But true networking means building relationship with people who actually think of you when the first opportunity arises. If you've seen that movie, The Social Network, if you haven't, I would truly recommend you to watch it. Facebook wasn't about just like one guy sitting in a dorm's room. It was about a group of people or the network of people who believed in an idea and worked towards growing it. One of the biggest mistakes that the students do nowadays is to think that we will build network when we actually need it. But trust me, by my experience, I can say that you actually need to start building that network long before you actually need it. And this is the reason that I personally follow a theory which is called all direction network. Network up, learn from the people who are ahead of you. Network down, help those who are below you. And network across. I mean, we hesitate in building relationship with people who are sitting next to us, but you never know, they might be the future CEOs and you may need them. For the last one, let me tell you a fun fact about myself. I work out every day. And trust me, that is like the best of 24 hours. I mean, those 2 hours in the gym are like, I mean, they bring like a new life to me every day. I don't need like six-pack, but I'm sure a lot of you might need it. And those of you who might need it knows that you cannot achieve those six-pack or Salman Khan jaise dole in just 2 weeks' time. Similarly, you cannot even have millions of followers in your social media account in 2 months' time. And your startup may not be successful in just 1 year. Play the long game. There is nothing called as overnight success. I mean, unless you are a Dolly Chaiwala or your reel goes viral. So I would say, I mean, most of these successes, they have seen years and even decades of unseen work. So you know Warren Buffett, I'm sure a lot of you would have heard about him. He started investing when he was a child, I mean, just like 11 years old. But you know, I mean, you will be surprised to know that 99% of his wealth was generated after the age of 50. Amazon wasn't profitable for first 9 years of operations. Netflix did not dominate the entertainment industry for first 20 years. I mean, that's a long. So, I would rather say give yourself time, give your ideas time. Do not quit your startup if it isn't profitable just for 1 year. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year and they underestimate what they can achieve in 10 years' time. So I would say have a vision to think of decades rather than just like years or days. Just remember, business is a marathon, it is not a sprint. And if you start with the right mindset, you will be ahead of 90% of the others. That's all that I wanted to share today. Thank you so much for listening.
Our third speaker is Mr. Sarthak Mittal, Chairman and CEO of Mittal Finance. Mr. Mittal is an accomplished entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, founder of Brandtech, CMO of NoteShield Cybersecurity, and president of Badboss, with a large following of 26,000 people on LinkedIn. I welcome Mr. Sarthak Mittal.
Let's check the energy. How's the Josh? Very low. How's the Josh? Very low. How's the Josh? That's amazing. So this is Sarthak. I'm the chairman and CEO of Mittal Alliance, connected with over 15 lakh youth all over the India, and on a mission to bridge a gap between academia and industry. So when it comes to me, I'm totally like you. Okay. So I started my journey with a typical class 10th student struggling to get into IIT. Okay. I always want to become an interior designer. I always want something to create of my own. But my family background is totally for IITians. Everyone was IIT. And my brothers were also studying in IIT. So I want to do something different. But if you belong from a middle class family, you never have any kind of choices. You can't do anything. Okay, so I landed to one of the most renowned institutions for IIT coaching, and I burnt around 6 lakh rupees. And if you are burning 6 lakh rupees into this market, you can't, you have to clear the examination. But when I saw the first equation of physics, I was like, lag gaye apne to. Okay, and I was totally depressed ki yaar ab ye mujhse nahi hoga, and I just want to quit it. For the first time, it was a confidential business. I started my first YouTube channel. Okay, and that was named as Jokemon, which was inspired by Pokemon. Quite funny. But what was the thing that happened to me, that I run that YouTube channel for next 6 months, and after that my channel was shut by my parents because they want me to study for IIT. Again, I was now enraged that in this Indian society, being a youth, we don't have power to express, we don't have power to pursue our passion. It's a constructive society that it starts from basic education. We are labeled by the companies, and you guys are working for the companies for your entire life. Where is the change? Where is the change? Nothing, no change. You are just the slaves known as the corporate majdoor. Okay, after that, I realized this particular thing, and I started with the next journey. I was seeing that my mom is making amazing crafts, but she's not selling it. Is there any possible ways to sell it? Definitely yes. So I started exploring the e-commerce markets. When I started exploring the e-commerce markets, it took me around 6 months to study each and every keyword. Yeah, and after that, I got failure. I again got failed because I was not getting any kind of response, and no sales, zero. None. What was the biggest thing that happened during that time? I also failed in class 11th. बचा कुचा दो था वो भी चलेगी, ठीक है. Now I failed into my class 11 mathematics exam and that was my grandfather's favorite subject. And अब तो fail होगा, अब कैसे बचे? Everything was like done. Okay. So during that time, my parents has supported me a lot. They were like, whatever you are doing, you just maintain your grades. And I was, from that time I got a zest of entrepreneurship, and now I was back to my business and I was doing some reverse engineering. मैंने कहा मेरे craft नहीं खरीद सकते तो क्या हुआ, raw material तो खरीद ही लेंगे. I visited to Rajwada, a renowned place in Indore. I am from Indore, and I got a clay. Now I use my Bania model of business, being a Bania. Okay, I got a clay for around 5 rupees. I utilize my skills which I actually learned from my YouTube things and graphic design skills, and I sell that clay for rupees 200. And likewise I created the initial 2 lakh rupees for my startup, and that was the seed funding. Okay, for the initial way. So this is how I started my journey and enlightened me to start entrepreneurship. And after that the COVID struck. Being from a middle class family, it was very difficult to sustain the business, sustain the IIT studies, sustain the family, and everything was again into the, what we say, well, okay, nothing. So after that, जैसे तैसे क्लास 12 का एग्जाम खत्म करा, CBSE का एग्जाम पास करा, 74% आए, है ना, गालियाँ खाई घर वालों से, ठीक है, it was like this only. And जैसे ही क्लास 12 खत्म हुई, it was like, बेटा अब क्या करना है? I was like, I want to become a graphic designer. No one can dare me to tell this. बेटा इंजीनियरिंग करनी पड़ेगी. No options for you. So I was like, इंजीनियरिंग तो ये लोग करवा के ही मानेंगे, पर लाइफ में जब कुछ ऑप्शन नहीं होते तो क्या करते हैं? MBA. Okay. So what I have done, that I just started with my, what we say, mocktail course. I paid 15 lakh rupees to one of the college, very renowned institution, have a 5-year integrated program, and I get enrolled into this. For the initial 6 months of my journey, I fell in love with coding. Okay, so I just fell in love with coding, and I was literally enjoying the algorithms. I was making some bit applications. But one day I went to Mumbai. अब मुंबई गया, मुंबई में काफ़ी बड़ी बड़ी बिल्डिंग्स थी, स्काई स्क्रेपर्स वर देयर, एंड मैं छोटा सा कोडर जिसको HTML आता था, और मैं खुद को कोडर भी बोलता था, हेलो वर्ल्ड लिखने वाला कोडर. ओके, नाउ आई वाज सीइंग द स्काई स्क्रेपर्स दैट वाओ, द अमेजिंग, हाउ मेनी करोर्स, 100, 500, 1000 करोर्स. So is there any way I can earn this much of amount, or how should I create such kind of skyscrapers? मैं कहा कोड लिखने से तो नहीं होगा ना, ये कॉलेज वाले मुझे सिखा सकते इतना पैसा बनाना. Okay, so that's the harsh reality. So I was like, we have to start a business to earn that much of amount, or we need some kind of scalable strategy. So for the first time I started with one of the IT company, with one of the guy from your institute only, can't name, okay, and we hired around 8 co-founders, okay, and after that we failed after 6 months again. Why? Because we got a first project for 5,000 rupees, and it was difficult to divide that 5,000 rupees between 8 co-founders. It is not sustainable for long run. We failed again. Now I was in the confidence, okay, I can still run business. Okay, so I was thinking the world is bad, the people are bad, startups are bad, so the business should also be bad. So we started bad business. As simple. Okay, so we started with this. We started with the IT consulting initially, and we transformed this idea into a Badverse. So Badverse is an idea which was actually transforming the lives of students through jobs, internship, workshop, industrial opportunity, startups, everything that you can think we have in the pocket. We have reached around 15 lakhs youth all over the India within few months, and it is now a trending thing into the market. And we are, as I mentioned, we are quite bad people. from past 1.5 years. So this is what actually I got started. Also wrote some books, and this is how we created some impact. But what is the learning? The learning is what is the most important quality of a CEO. The first thing is the communication skills. Okay, the more you communicate, the better you communicate, the better you can sell yourself. You don't have to sell a product, you have to sell yourself first. It's all about personal branding. You have to first create Me Private Limited before selling any kind of product. Okay, so start selling yourself. If you are aiming for a job also, you also have to convince your HR, right? So improve your communication skills. This is the first thing. Second thing, what is the most important thing is have a vision. Great people have great visions. Be like an eagle. Okay, so eagle always fly above the clouds. Leaders always think above the clouds. ये cloud कौन है? ये cloud rat race है. जो है ये, which is actually fighting for marks, which is actually fighting for grades, which is actually fighting for jobs. But above the clouds, there are leaders who are actually thinking to create the world, and they are actually ruling the world. So, if you want to become a visionary, think like an eagle. Eagle हमेशा एक गोल की तरफ consistently work करता है. Okay, so you have to work over a single goal very consistently. Okay, so this is the most important thing. The third thing is the delegation. Most of the people reach to me that Bhaiya, how to become a CEO? What are the skills which is required to be CEO? The most precious and the most important thing in this world is the people skills. If you learn to delegate your work to the relevant people, if you learn to create impactful teams, you can do anything in this world. Satellite bhi banana na, you need a right team. If you have a right leadership, you just hire some few scientists and few relevant personas and then done. It's easy. So important thing is learn to create a team. Okay, this is the most important thing. The last thing is known as the networking. Network is your net worth. Okay, so start creating network. I will also tell you like how to create a network as a student. Okay, so as a student, firstly identify who you are, what you actually want to become. Now, optimize your LinkedIn profile like that. Yeah, I am this inspiring candidate, I want to do this. Okay, if you are also having a startup, you can use a tag known as founder and CEO. Now, start connecting with the relevant personalities. Okay, just draft a message, maybe using AI. Okay, and start messaging to the relevant personalities and start working with them. As Mr. Siddharth has mentioned that it is not about networking, it's about working with the network. So start working with that network, live with that network, be friended with them and share the ideas. And before I go, what is the last thing that I want to highlight? Whenever you starting something new in this world, society will leave you. Your friends are going to leave you. So whenever you are growing, you will start losing your friends. And from there, you will start creating a new network of the individual, which will eventually help you to share more ideas, think widely, and create value for the society. So this is the story of me from zero. So how I created such things, empires, and from CEO Sarthak to CEO Sarthak Mittal. This is my entire story. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Sarthak Mittal, for your valuable support and contributions. We truly appreciate your time and effort in making this event a success. Lastly, we are pleased to welcome Mr. Sagar Sharma, CEO of Devush and co-founder of Kudos Technolabs, with a strong following of over 4,000 on LinkedIn. Welcome, sir.
As you said, I'm the co-founder of Kudos Technolabs and Devush.ai. So we are a small company, but we do generative AI, blockchain, and next-gen tech basically. And why I said, we are a small company because everyone wants to be a big company. Everyone wants to, like have a big numbers. The game seems to be of numbers, right? You guys would think, if you would have 500 followers on LinkedIn, you would think that, I should have 1,000 before I do that. Or how can I have 2,000, or how can I reach 5,000, right? Or if your resume doesn't have, let's say, 0, like 1 or 2 companies, you will say I should have at least 2 companies in my resume before I basically apply for any big company. I think hota hai aisa, right? So to us also, this happens a lot of times. Although like in Kudos we have around 50 resources, 50 developers, and we are a team of around 60 people. Clients do ask us, what's your team strength? It's only 60 people, okay? They don't ask us, what's your tech like? They don't ask us what can you do in tech? What's your way of working? So it happens, and we face this issue, and especially when you are into tech, this kind of issues are very common. So what we did, out of Kudos, we created one more company called Deus.ai. So that company is basically a product-based AI-based product, and it's an ERP system. तो हमने करा क्या? I asked my co-founder one day, मुझे यार 5-6 बंदे दे. I need 6 people, 5 or 6 people, best people from Kudos. And I want to make an AI-based ERP, and I want to make more such kind of products for Indian market. And no one was doing that back then. What happened? My co-founder asked me, 5-6 लोगों में क्या कर लोगे? And I said, just give to us, okay? Within 4 months, what we did was, we launched and we shipped one ERP product in just a matter of 5 months. हुआ ये कि we were doing only 3 things every day: building, testing, shipping. Building, testing, shipping. Okay. So yeah, apart from Coldplay, we love BTS as well. Okay. So we were doing BTS every day. And that's how basically, we created an ERP system in just a matter of 5 months with 5 developers. So what does it teach me? It teaches me, that when you're small, it's okay to be small. You don't have to be very big to penetrate a lot of things. Just have to be very speedy, very quick. All right. So that was my story, my company's story. Now, why basically, speed actually, when you are small, why size actually, so how should I put it in this way is, when you're small, you can actually be very fast. And there are 3 things of, 3 nice things, of being small. That first is speed. So when you're agile, you can move things fast. Sorry. So when you are small, you can be agile. When you're small, you can take a lot of risk because no one knows you yet, so you can fail, right? And the third thing, when you're small, you're in shape, your sharpness would be higher. So football match के अंदर 11 लोग होते हैं एक टीम में. Tennis के अंदर usually 2 play, in singles, like they play 1 by 1, 1-on-1. So होता क्या है? 11 लोग जब एक टीम से खेलते हैं, सामने जब 11 होते हैं, so ball सबके पास एक बार में नहीं आती है. So sharpness होती है. I understand, players like Ronaldo and Messi, they are sharp, but sharpness होती है, but they all are not sharp at the same time. But in tennis, you have to be sharp. So what I mean to say regarding this is, when you are small, it's okay. You can actually be very sharp compared to when you are big. So Instagram also shipped when they were 13. WhatsApp shipped and took over by Facebook when they were 50 people. So this is okay, all right. So just a question to you guys. What are you thinking? What are you waiting for? If you want to do something, just do it. You might fail, but what will happen? You try something, you fail. You try something, you fail. You reiterate, you fail, and then at the end you'll get it done. So yeah, I'll keep it small as well, just like my topic, okay? And small is good. You don't have to worry about being small. Yeah, thank you.
We sincerely thank Mr. Sagar Sharma for sharing his expertise with us. Your insights have been truly enlightening. Now, as we continue this enriching journey of insights and leadership, we are delighted to introduce a special segment, an exclusive podcast session featuring Mr. Sarthak Mittal and Mr. Sagar Sharma. In this engaging discussion, we will delve into their entrepreneurial experiences, industry expertise, and perspectives on innovation and business growth. I welcome you both.
I'd like to welcome both of you today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. So, Sagar sir, I want to start with you. So, my first question to you is, Devush is making a mark in the business landscape.
Yeah.
So, could you please elaborate on its core mission and how it aims to drive innovation in this sector?
Right. So basically, what we are doing is right now we have created an ERP system, India's first AI-based ERP. We are right now having. Okay. So you know ERP basically. All the big companies use ERP. What we did with it, like we're also predicting the future of your business with the AI-based tools which we have implemented into that. And also in blockchain, we are doing smart contracts and hello. Yeah. So we are doing like smart contracts and stuff also in blockchain, which is a bit new in Indian market. So we want to do new things, and we are learning every day, because you have to learn when no one is there to lead you or teach you. You have to lead, right? So as our tagline, we are next gen tech company. Yeah.
Sarthak sir, I would like to continue with you. As a TEDx speaker and industry leader, you have addressed diverse audiences, I'm sure. How do you believe the thought that leadership contributes to professional and business growth?
So what I feel, there are two things: the passion and profession. Okay. So whenever you are passionate about something, you will eventually find a profession. Okay. So I was always want to become a speaker. From the childhood itself, I always want that I must come on stage and people appreciate me and they clap for me. So I always want to do, but I was an introvert. So to become an extrovert, I used to practice in front of mirror. I used to work a lot, and likewise, I created a bridge between my passion and profession, and I shifted my things, and I eventually utilized for my marketing for my own business. And that's why we named as Mittal Alliance, that Sarthak Mittal, Mittal matching, and likewise.
I think that's great, sir. So now I have a question for both of you. So both of you have played key roles in leading and scaling a business across different industries. So in your experience, what are the fundamental qualities that define a successful entrepreneur in today's competitive landscape?
So what I think is, you have to fail. Mr. Habelia mentioned. Okay, you do it very fast. Every day you have to try new things. Okay, some days something new comes to me. Even I don't have an answer to that. And as a founder, you have to be ready. Okay, new things will come to you. You have to be ready, and you will fail, and you have to be okay with that. And as you mentioned, what are the key fundamentals you should have? अगर आप fail होते हो, आप छोटे हो, कौन जानता है आपको? It's fine, right? Just do it.
What could be the most important thing for this? Always be a risk taker. Okay, and learn time management skills. And what I actually found that if you are passionate about your own things, you will eventually manage time. PUBG खेलने के लिए कभी हमने time नहीं निकाला था, है ना? So similarly, if you are passionate about particularly something, so you will eventually get time for this. So identify your passion. If you love making cakes, यार ऐसे केक बनाओ पर number 1 होना चाहिए world. Okay, so be the Sachin Tendulkar of your own industry. So this is the way you can eventually get the way. Okay, if you are passionate about, अपने आप रास्ता बनते जाएगा. Just keep walking. Be consistent. Be resilient.
That's a great answer. Mr. Sarthak, I would like to ask you a question that brand tech is right now positioned at the intersection of technology and marketing. How do you foresee emerging technologies like AI and blockchain transforming the way businesses establish their brand identity?
Okay, so the brand tech is entirely a different business for me. So, see, I am not that techie guy like Sagar, but in brand tech, what we actually do, we help the personalities to develop their own persona. It's a personal branding agency, kind of. So we integrate your personal brand in a website. For example, my name is Sarthak. I own a website known as cosarthak.com. You can search it. Okay, so you will get everything about me, and if I am going with my website before my business meeting, okay, there is a 40% higher chances that your deal would be closed because the client would be entirely impressed. Also, we get more reach through the search engine optimization.
So Sagar sir, I have a question for you. So building a strong professional network, as you said, is very crucial for business leaders. So what advice would you give to the aspiring entrepreneurs on leveraging professional connections for success and growth?
I think one thing which we all don't do too often is we don't cold email. All right, but if you actually find a nice, whoever you like, okay, in your industries, just do cold emailing, and it should be personal. If you do that, you'll get answers. I get around like 50 to 100 cold emails in a week, okay? From that, around 15 to 20 are so good, and we hire them. So, or we, move forward. So, try to reach people, even when I was a bit younger in college, I used to get like a bit nervous that, hey, what if I reach that guy, but I haven't done anything yet. But वो तो फिर कभी नहीं आएगा time. So you need to reach people actually.
So, as experienced entrepreneurs, both of you, what qualities do you believe will define the next generation of successful business leaders? And how can aspiring entrepreneurs cultivate these traits to thrive in this competitive landscape?
Okay, so the single word answer is be like a chameleon. Okay, so world is in the way of digitization. Okay, so every industry, being a management student, there is an important term that you have to learn is business engineering. Okay, do the engineering with business. Okay, engineering is an art to think, business maybe an art to apply. So both the things should be together. Integrate some technological things, and like you should have good friends like Sagar. Okay, he helped me a lot for IT. I don't have that much knowledge. Okay, so collab with these people, have business thinking, integrate technology, and this is the way you can adopt with the current scenario.
And let me get the technical answer for you, that what next gen things are doing and how should we take care of it. So Twitter premium को use करता है, X premium or X. Anyone using Grok? Right? So Grok 2 came when? Do you know? Yeah, so within 2 to 3 months Grok 3 भी आ चुका है. And the difference has been like next level, right? So AI is changing too fast, and this is also a scary situation. Every 2 to 3 months it's moving like nothing. Okay, no speed can beat it. Okay, so there is no time to rest actually. If you have any idea, if you want to do something, if you let's say have a startup idea, right, and you don't have a co-founder, or if you don't know how to start, just start with registering a domain. Just start with writing blogs probably. Get into SEO, and things will start making sense. Okay, because if you don't move, AI is anyway moving, and I also see that even in future SEO can change in a way we don't know yet, because right now it's all crawling from Google engines, but with AI coming, they would be having their own data sets, so you need to move very fast. Again, I am repeating, but yeah.
Sir, the question is, how do you perceive that the role of digital transformation today will, shape the future of entrepreneurship?
So I would say future is here already. किराने की दुकानें थी, Blinkit and Instamart and Zepto सब पे आ चुकी है, right? Barbers are on urban clap, all right? So if you are not there, if you are doing anything, and if you are not there, if you're not transforming yourself into digital market and domain, and if you're just having traditional businesses, and whoever is having traditional businesses, and whoever is not online yet, I feel for you guys, because times are crucial. I have a lot of Baniya friends जिनके पापा की दुकान है, मतलब I come from a tier 2 city, Indore, nice city by the way. So I see them, like they're already facing issues. So the first step is just be there. Then you will eventually figure out, like what needs to be improved or not. Just be there first. So if you're not there, it's a problematic thing to be.
So, to gain all the insight we can, I have one last question to both of you. Businesses today, they face unprecedented disruptions due to technological advancements and shifting consumer expectations. How do you guys ensure your organization remains adaptable and ahead of industry trends?
Okay, so what I feel is psychology plays an important role here. Okay, if you are a businessman, you should know about your ideal client persona, ICP. Okay, and you should know about how your client will think. Okay, so you know about Instagram. Okay, Instagram, you are devoting time over that platform. Okay, but you are actually working for Instagram during that time. So Instagram knows that what you like to watch. पता है सबको क्या देखते हैं, ठीक है? So he knows very well. We have to develop that algorithm like that, so that you start watching it. Okay, so it is all about business automation. It is all about thinking from the user's perspective. If you are an entrepreneur, if you get the requirement that आपके customer को क्या चाहिए, वो चीज़ automatic दिख चाहिए.
So इसका बहुत ही देसी आंसर देता हूँ आपको एक, because you just mentioned that how to be competitive, right? So एक true answer तो like बिल्कुल from the bottom of my heart. It's very easy to be at top in this industry. 90% of the IT companies who are saying that we are IT companies, they can't actually build a nice application as well. They're outsourcing or they're doing something HR work or something like that. Okay, 90% of the techies who are, like they're all hardly WordPress developers. They're doing some, downloading some themes and saying that they're developing tech. So the bar is too low, and every day you have a challenge with yourself कि यार आज जब मैं सुबह उठ रहा हूँ, there is an easy way to do, just watch TV. Yesterday I watched the match actually, because India Australia, right? So it's very easy. There are like a lot of distractions every day where you can just choose easy very easily, right? Because you don't have to put the inertia. But once you put inertia, once you put yourself into the zone, मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि आप 4 से 5 महीने किसी भी टेक्नोलॉजी से लेके आप या learn any I'm learning Chinese these days from last 2 to 3 months, and I have become a bit better. So why I'm telling you is because if you just give 3 to 4 months to anything, you are in top 2 to 3%, and that's how low the bar is. So yeah, you can just you can be competitive by just like being consistent and failing faster. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for your lovely insights. I think all of the students here, we learned a lot from you. And
thank you. And by the way, like if anyone is looking for any internships or jobs, we hire full time. You can reach me at sagar@deus.ai. I'm very reachable on emails. So anyway, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that insightful podcast, both of you. Thank you.
so now we are delighted to invite our esteemed media partners, Mr. Jalaj Dhal and Mr. Kartik Rai, to grace this special occasion with their presence. We would like to invite you on the stage, please.
I am an alumni of this college, so maybe approximately 3-4 years back I was here on this stage. I was the Mr. Fresher. I'm not lying, you guys can check the YouTube. So हमने ऐसा क्या करा यार, आज हम इधर है, right? So when I was in college, when I was in my 12th class, I was preparing for IIT JEE. I couldn't crack it, so yeah, I had to choose something else. So I started photography business. So I was in the WAC society. How many of you are in WAC? What a click.
Guys, we need a response from you guys.
Anybody?
Audience.
Any of your friends from WAC? एक बार गए थे? अच्छा ठीक है, I assume थोड़े creative लोग नहीं हैं, इधर थोड़ा सा business माहौल है. So yeah, my name is Jalaj and I have been running my business Jalaj Dhal Films for the past 6 years now, and on that journey I have met my very dear friend, my co-founder Kartik. So he was running his Hype Square Media. Now he'll explain what his company does. So over to you.
Yeah, so guys, पहले तो मेरे को सारे ये बताओ कि कौन से ईयर से बच्चे यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं? Second year, third year, first year? First year, second year, okay. So guys, मेरा नाम कार्तिक है, जैसे जलज ने आपको बताया, and I run a company called Hypesquare Media. It's a marketing agency and a production house. So I don't know, this was my introduction. Thank you, Jalaj. तो guys, कुछ साल पहले मैं भी आपके साथ यहीं पे बैठा हुआ था, कुछ साल 3-4 साल पहले. तो I don't want to make it boring, you know, boring lecture or something like that. But I just want to give you 3-4 lines में एक आंसर कि अगर आप में से कोई भी अभी जॉब करेगा फ्यूचर में, बिजनेस करेगा, तो this is a very good time to learn. Like I'm seeing very young people and interesting faces, you know, like I can see so many creative people in you guys. And बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अब content creation में जाएंगे या फिर production में जाएंगे, and मैं वो काम कर रहा हूँ. And I'm handling this business in Delhi, and my partner is, you know, expanding in Bombay right now. So we are already doing such stuff and working with so many creative companies. So if you guys are also interested in these things, so this is the time to learn, guys. Like this is my honest response. कि second year, third year is the time. उसके बाद आप लोगों को time नहीं मिलेगा. If I can, you know, motivate you with something, that's the only thing I want to tell you guys. कि this is the time, ये time दोबारा नहीं आएगा. Second year, third year, just grab a skill and learn it. Like, are you on me? Are you on it? Like, guys, I'm not making it boring. Please say yes or no. Guys. Hello, guys. Like, this is a genuine thing. Like, I want to, you know, discuss with you guys. Like, अगर आप लोग ये चीज़ कर रहे हैं तो आप इस चीज़ को कंटिन्यू करें, चीज़ों को पढ़ें और इस चीज़ में एनहांस करें खुद की क्रिएटिविटी को, कैमरा सीखें. ये 4-5 चीज़ें चाहिए होती हैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप करने के लिए. माइंडसेट होता है, ठीक है, आपका वाई होता है, क्यूरियोसिटी होती है कोई भी क्रिएटिव काम करने के लिए. इंजीनियरिंग में, BBA में या BCom में, हर चीज़ में एक चीज़ बहुत मैटर करती है, वो क्यूरियोसिटी है. वो चीज़ को आप लोग एनहांस करें और चीज़ को करें. चलो नाइक.
Okay, I believe we should, you know, wrap it up because we are hard on time. So I would want to, you know, tell one thing. हमारी accomplishments कुछ जो मुझे लगता है you guys should know. Last year हमने we, you know, started with founders. हमारे से बहुत ज़्यादा worthy, बहुत ज़्यादा deserving लोग, they were on the stage. तो मैं कुछ बात बताना चाहता हूँ. Let's say बहुत सारे VC होते हैं, founders होते हैं, so they need their content, मतलब they need content creation. They want to, you know, be on that Instagram. जब आप scroll कर रहे हो, मतलब आपका कोई ना कोई favorite founder होगा ही होगा जिसके लिए हम already content create कर रहे हैं. Yesterday we were with Dipender Goyal, Zomato का founder जो हैं, and day before yesterday we were with Aman Gupta जो board के founder हैं. तो I would want you guys to, you know, start exploring, start, you know, find your passion. So I think
this is the time, guys. This is the time. हम भी बहुत बड़े नहीं हैं, but we are on the same journey. And I don't want to motivate everyone who is sitting there. I just want to motivate one person, you know, who can just take my words and do whatever they want, like in terms of creative field or making TVCs or making ads in future, because that is the future. Every brand needs that, right? So I hope I'll you know, motivate only one person in the room, and that will be, you know, great for me. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Thank you. Clap for yourself, guys. Clap for yourself.
We are deeply grateful to each of our esteemed speakers for being here today and sharing their expertise and knowledge with us.
As we draw the session to a close, we would now like to invite Dr. Gaurav Agarwal, Head of Department of Economics, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all of you, esteemed guests and CEOs, distinguished speakers, respected HODs and faculty members, staff and dear students. As we come to the conclusion of CEO Summit 2025, it is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on the behalf of Maharaja Agrasen Institute of Management Studies to everyone who contributed to making this event a grand success. So personally, I would like to be thanks to all the CEOs who were present here and provided us great insight. Dr. Rajni Malhotra Dhingra ji, who is not only great but always a very supporting person as a director for all of us. All HODs, team Ratan Tata and Compact team, along with the students and few more faculties who really worked very hard, Dr. Bharti Chaudhary, Dr. Charu Mohla, Ms. Taran Preet, and and Dr. Anubal. And definitely you all are in hurry. I will not take much time to you. Wishing you very good great success for your life. Go ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Gaurav Agarwal, sir, for the heartfelt vote of thanks. That brings us to the end of CEO Summit 2025. We hope you leave here inspired and empowered. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you.